It's going to be a busy day here in the Northeast. You are looking at the most current warnings and watches for Tropical Storm Henri, expected to change over to that hurricane status pretty much at any moment right now. You're looking at Long Island, Connecticut in the heart of those warnings, both sharing the Long Island Sound, a big water outlet that will indeed be impacted by this storm. Specifically, the geography of the Northeast of the United States is going to make this a little worse than it has to be. As always, my friends, we are going to break down all the latest data and give you everything you need to know to prepare mentally or physically for Henri. Here we go. Good morning once again, my friends. August 21st, 2021, 10:08 a.m., and you know exactly what we're doing here. We are going to go over the newest and latest timeline for Henri, which actually is kind of the same. Sunday, 2 p.m. landfall is expected now in central Long Island. There have certainly been gusts recorded in the 80-mile-an-hour range. That's no question at all. As a sustained storm right now, we are at 60 knots or 70 miles an hour, right on that Category 1 line, expected to change over to that hurricane status within the next few hours, if not sooner. 993 millibars in pressure, and my oh my, take a look at this little paragraph right here. I'm going to read to you coming out of Long Island. Wow, it's been nearly 36 years since a hurricane delivered a direct hit to Long Island. The last hurricane to make landfall on Long Island was Gloria, when it came ashore as a Category 2 storm on September 27th, 1985. Very good year. AccuWeather meteorologists urged those in the path of Henri to complete preparations for the storm as soon as possible. Conditions were expecting to begin deteriorating in less than 24 hours. Moving forward through the updates of this storm, I'm going to try to keep the videos shorter and more detailed to the changing in data that we need to see, and that's what I'm going to do right now. As you can see, most of the spaghetti plots have now pulled off of New York City. If you guys remember, those have been covering the city for about 2 days now, and now we had that slight shift to the east, putting these plots directly through the center of Long Island, the Long Island Sound, and then Connecticut. The spaghetti plots are always very important to keep an eye on and updated on. And then when you take all the spaghetti plots and put them kind of together, you get this cone of uncertainty. So this is really what you want to look out for. If you are in the Northeast, this is what I'm looking out for. In fact, the cone of uncertainty comes close, very close to Northeast Pennsylvania. So just because you're not on the line of one of those spaghetti plots, for example, Rhode Island, you guys huddled between Connecticut and Massachusetts right outside the Long Island Sound here, and just because you aren't under the actual purple hurricane warnings now, that does not mean you should not be preparing for a hurricane. A slight shift towards New York City, or the opposite, a slight shift towards Rhode Island, can within minutes put this purple hurricane warning in your area. Rhode Island gets a bad shake sometimes because it is huddled between the big cities of Boston and New York, with also Connecticut in there as well. I'm going to go ahead and lay this peak storm surge chart over the map so you can get a visual of what a counterclockwise spin of a storm does. So whether or not we are at tropical storm status, whether we're at Category 1 or Category 2, the main idea here is the low pressure system is spinning in a counterclockwise direction, as most cyclones do in the northern hemisphere. And now this will help explain why we're seeing lower numbers, the 1 to 3 feet storm surge along New Jersey, which is pretty much the lowest of all the storm surge forecasts right now. But as you get from New York City and start moving up the Long Island coast, we start seeing that rise 2 to 4 feet, now towards Montauk, Fire Island, Plum Island out here, 3 to 5 foot storm surge. The Long Island Sound all covered in red because of the counterclockwise spin. That water will more than likely be pulled in from east to west going into the Sound. So the flooding along the Connecticut border and even closer, the southeastern parts of New York and then the city inside there are going to have water coming from both directions. Now again, we're not looking at 30-foot swells here. We're going to take a look at the wave heights in just a moment, but I want you guys just to get a good idea of why we're seeing these storm surge numbers and what counterclockwise movement does. So now we're moving up towards Narragansett Bay, Buzzards Bay. These are all coastal lines that are going to be affected by this rising water, 3 to 5 feet across the board. And then once you get up along the hook of Massachusetts, that's when it starts lowering again because we have some blockage here, and it's going to be a little harder for that water to wrap around and then come back south, but it's definitely possible. The point being a lot of different inlets and riverways and things that will allow more and more water to break into these very uneven coastlines of the Northeast. And finally, for this update, we're going to look at the current wave heights and what to expect in the Long Island Sound and along Long Island, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and that coast of Massachusetts, Nantucket, all the way up to Boston. You're looking at the centralized area where that almost just along the eye wall, or if there was an eye wall for Henri right now, you're looking at 31-foot swells. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in there, and I'm gonna drag this bar, and you're gonna see over time just exactly where they project these waves to go. Now, this is where things are gonna get interesting along Montauk, the Hamptons, a lot of very expensive properties along Long Island right around here. I lived in Montauk for a bunch of years, and I actually managed a bar out there. Memory Motel in Montauk was a home of mine for a long time. I'm actually still very good friends with the owners. But you're looking at pictures from 2011. I'm looking out my blinds from Memory Motel. You can see the sign got ripped off here. This sign has been there since the 70s. The Rolling Stones used to come here because Andy Warhol had a house in the Hamptons, so they would come here to Memory Motel, which is why that song in the 70s was written, Memory Motel, by the Rolling Stones. They would come here to get away from the public because Montauk used to be a very quiet, almost unknown town back in the 70s, when today it's a huge, giant vacation town for the summer. Some of these pictures were just before Hurricane Irene arrived on the coast of Long Island, if you guys remember. So this wasn't even a direct hit around Montauk or the Hamptons, so just giving you an idea of what even a partial skim of a storm can do, let alone a direct hit. Thank you guys for letting me go off and share that really quick. So anyway, we're going to finish up this video and we'll update throughout the day, but just take a look at some of these heights we're going to be dealing with just off the coast of Long Island. 19-foot swells. That's no joke when you're dealing with coastlines along the Northeast. Even just 2 feet of waves can make a significant impact along the coastlines. And again, I can't stress this enough. Keep in mind the counterclockwise spin of cyclones. It's spinning this way, so it's going to push these waves into the sound just underneath eastern Connecticut and just above northeastern Long Island. And there you have it, my friend. Anywhere from 10 to 25-foot waves expected as of now along the eastern coast of Long Island, the eastern coast of Connecticut, Rhode Island, and of course, Massachusetts. My friends, that's what I got for you for now. It's going to be a busy day today and tomorrow. Of course, please stay safe. I'll be bringing you short, quick updates throughout the day, and we'll get through this thing together. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be back very shortly. Shout out to Canada. Shout out to New England. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all, and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.